top. You know. Oh yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. Nice introduction with no instructions. But get ready to embrace. My man Jesus coming to the stage, coming to the mic. Oh yeah. Clap your hands, everybody, for Jesus.
Hey, what's up, Kirkland? What's up, Kirkland? I'm gonna try to make you laugh tonight, and if you don't laugh, that's okay. I won't be sad about it. My real name is Jesus, but my friends call me Jesus, and people say, why did you name yourself Jesus? And I didn't. Everybody else did. Everybody else did. You think I walked up to people when I was a little kid and went, hi, my name is Jesus? No. No, I didn't even know that my name was spelled the same as Jesus until I was 5 years old. That's right. See, I grew up Catholic. And in the Catholic Church, as a little kid, you're just supposed to sit there and not do nothing. You're just supposed to sit there and pay attention because your mom will just like, whack. So for the longest time, until I got in catechism, and then nobody knows what catechism is. Catechism is like fairy tale religion. You know, it's like the kids' version of what the Catholics teach. So you go to catechism, so you get the fairy tale story of Jesus. And my first day in catechism, I'm 5 years old, I'm sitting there and they're like, and then Jesus said unto them, and I saw it for the first time. Now I knew how to spell my name. I did. My dad drilled that into me. Jesus. I looked down over there and I went, oh my God. My parents named me Jesus. And I immediately went to the kid next to me and I went, that's my name. And he looked at me and went, okay. Then I went to the next kid next to me, I'm like, that's my name. And by that time, the teacher who was teaching said, excuse me, Jesus, can you tell me what you're sharing? And I walked up to my teacher and I said, that's my name. She said, that's good, sit down. That's his name and that's his name. Now, everybody just relax. You were not Jesus. So that was an interesting day for me. And then it was an even more interesting ride in the car, right? Because obviously, up until that point, I had no awareness. So I'm asking my mom in the car on the ride home. My dad was not with us because my dad's religion was football. And believe me, I wanted to be more a part of his religion than I did with mine, because there was way too many rules. That's okay, sir. You can go ahead and look around. They're not going to stop you. Do something good. They got some good stuff here everywhere. So I'm in the car with my mom, and I said, Mom, did you name me Jesus? And she looked at me and she just started laughing. No, mijo, I named you Jesus. And I said, how do you spell Jesus? And she said, Jesus. And then I said, I spell Jesus. Jesus. And she said, but yours has an accent over the U. I looked at my mom like she was crazy. I'm like, you think that little accent makes a difference? And she says, do you know what my name is? And I'm like, yes. And she says, what's my name? And I said, Connie. She said, no, my name's not Connie, that's my middle name. And I said, well, then what's your first name? She said, Maria. And I went, what? She says, you know what Maria means? And I went, no. She's like, Mary. And I was like, holy crap. My mom, Mary, had Jesus in the city of angels, and then I remembered, I'm not Jesus, my dad's name's Clyde. So I'm not Jesus, but I will, ladies, I don't see any ladies here, but ladies, I do perform miracles in the bedroom, so in case anybody wants to experience one, see me after. Kidding. I'm with the same woman for 20 years. 20 years. My parents have been 20 years. Now, gentlemen, I know there's a lot of gentlemen in here. How many single gentlemen in here? Who's single? Who's rolling? Single? Nobody? All right. Everybody's got somebody. I don't believe any of you. I know that guy's single right there. I can tell just by his hat. So I've been with the same woman 20 years. Now, guys, when you find a good woman, keep her. Don't fool around on her. Don't go anywhere. When you find her and you're saying to yourself, well, Jesus, what is a good woman? Let me tell you, when you're as hot as hell and you're tired and you're visiting your girl and you just say, I wish I had a pair of shorts. And then that girl like says, here, just lie down on the couch in front of the air conditioner, and she says, I'll be right back. And she goes to the store and comes back with a pair of shorts. That's the woman you marry. I did not marry that woman. So that's my regret. No, I'm kidding. I'm with a very, very, very beautiful woman. I've been with her for a long time. She's a hell of a lot. I can't mention her name because of the job that she has within the entertainment industry. So we have to have plausible deniability in case I say something that gets myself canceled. I am so happy that this place exists. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten high. I used to think that like I was a weed baller when I started coming in here. I come in here and I like buy like 4 ounce. Then after a year, you're like buying ounces, you know? And I thought I was a weed baller. I'd step on my mind like I'd give away weed because I had so much weed until I started rolling joints. There is way too much weed. I thought I was a weed baller, so I don't even know how you guys are like rolling blunts all the time and then putting in like shatter, and then you're like dipping it, and then you're like smoking it and with all your buddies, you know, and you're just like hanging out. That type of smoking, that gets you lost in your house. And I don't mean like, I don't know where I'm at. I mean like you go to another room, and you're standing in their room, and you're like, why did I come in here? What am I looking for? You're like, I know I came in here for something, but I'm just going to stand around in this room until I find it. You'll be gone like 10 minutes and leave your boys over in the living room, and little do you know that you just had to go in and get the PlayStation so everybody could play. And you will come back to the room, and everybody will have passed that joint, and they'll be like, you'll sit down, and then everybody's like, oh, you're back. And you're like, yeah, man. And someone says, it'd be cool if we could play PlayStation. You're like, all right, I'm going to go get it. And you go back into the room, walk in the room, you're like, why did I come back in here? Why did I come back in here? What am I looking for? And your boys are passing around that blunt, and you're like, oh man, I forgot what I got. You just gotta go sit back down. Sit back down. Your friends are like, they give you the blunt, you're smoking weed back again. You're like, one of your friends said it'd be really cool if we can go get it. Play PlayStation. And you're like, I'll go get it. It's in my room. Finally, you come back and it's just a controller. I forgot what I was going to say. People got to stop handing me those blunts before I do this, okay? The first time I ever tried mushrooms was an experience. So I'm there, I'm at this guy's house who I work with, having mushrooms for the first time. Nothing's happening. We decide to order pizza. I figure, okay, order pizza. I don't know what's happening, but I guess mushroom and pizzas go together. By the time the pizza got there, we opened it up, and everything just started melting on me. It was just like, and then I looked at the other 2 guys that I was hanging out with. One of them was like, looking at me, giggling, and he had like a pimply face. And each one of those pimples looked like eyes to me. So he's like starting to go, and I'm just like, oh, that guy's got way too many eyes. And then I go over and talk to my friend who's sitting on the couch, and he just. So I don't know what he was taking besides the shrooms, but he was just over there like twitching away, and I looked at him and I'm like, that guy looks like the devil. So I just like turned and I just started going, okay, so this is what's going on, all right? We got a guy over here. Now he's on the floor. The guy who was in my face with the eyes giggling is now on the floor, right? So I'm like, okay, so there's a guy on the floor rolling around who looks like an alien. I got the devil over there on the couch, and I am standing here talking to the door. That is how high it was. The only other sane person in the room besides me was the door. And I'm like, what time is it? I looked at my watch and the hands told everything but the time. They were swirling around and I'm like, holy crap, how long is this gonna last? Because this was my... So I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be cool. Everything's gonna be fine. The guy writhing on the floor just starts freaking me out. Because he's just like giggling way too much. And my friend's like, are you okay? Is everything fine? And I'm like, you guys, I need to get out of here. So I like walk out into the, I thought it was dark by this time. That's how much I lost time. I walked out into the sunlight. I'm like, oh my God. Thank God for that, because all the visuals I were having kind of like disappeared. And I was able to call my girlfriend and I just looked at, and she's like, are you okay? Where are you? And I just looked around, I saw a narco sign. I'm like, blue, blue. And she's like, blue? I'm like, yes, blue. Can you be more specific? I'm at a narco station and I'm on mushrooms for the first time. She's like, I'll come get you. Which narco station? And I went, I don't know. She's like, is it the one around the corner? I'm like, could be. Thank God it was the one around the corner. So she was able to come get me. And that was like the first time like I really had to make a phone call to her to like say, hey, come get me out of here. The second time, or I guess after doing shrooms, the first time like I had like a bad trip was at a Burning Man regional event. Now, those of you who don't know what Burning Man is, that's where a lot of elites and really well-to-do hippies make art and then hang out in the desert and get high and fuck each other. Basically, it's just kind of like, you know, it's more complicated than that. But that's the gist of it. I mean, the last time they had a fuck tent. That literally a tent you'd walk into. It had a big old huge dome. You walk in and said, everything here must be consensual. And then you go through the door. Inside the door was another room that had another tent. It was a 2-person tent with a bed. There was a book there. Please read. Everything must be consensual. Everybody must say yes to everything. There are condoms, lubrication in the drawer, and on the other side are sheets. Please remove the sheets when you're done and put them in the tent. This is what Burning Man is, where you can go out into the middle of a playa where there are like 80,000 people, walk into a tent, and fuck. There's also, believe it or not, an orgy dome. That's a misnomer though. It's not an orgy dome. It's just a bunch of like, you know, those purple car tents like flashed together. That's what they call the orgy dome. But you can go in there, not as a single guy. I know, look, this guy's looking at me. He's like, where's that at? Where can I get there? I want to see that. Trust me, sir. Once you get inside, you're going to be very disappointed what you think is going to be there, because all the people who you think are hot and going to be in there are not. These are fat, mostly middle-aged people who are, you know, just desperate for anything, you know? And that's the truth. There are hot girls that go in there and then they're high down by all these lecherous guys. Not me. I went in with a woman, not my girl, but she doesn't like the desert. That's a whole different thing. But went in there just to check it out, and I could never unsee that again, to be honest with you. I mean, just to give you an idea of what I've seen, I've worked in the entertainment industry my whole life, and as a young boy, as a young man, I worked for a small production company. And the small production company had like a studio. And I was given an envelope to take to the studio. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be my first time. I'm going to be on a set. I'm going to be cool about it. I'm going to act like I've been there before. So I get to the set. There's light on scene. They're filming. The guy at the guard at the door says, once you get in, once the light goes off, you can walk in and get whatever. So I walk in, close the door, and they're getting ready to shoot again, right? So I'm standing off to the side. I can't see the set. The camera's over here. There's like a wall right here, and then where they're shooting is off around the corner. So I get in there, and they're just like, wait here. And this is the direction the director gives. All right, everybody find a partner. Great. Start simulating sex. and action. I was like, what the hell? Who am I working for? Turns out that the company I work for made, Skinemax films. So this one was called Emmanuel in Space. You can still see it. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Go ahead and look it up. And that was it was an orgy scene.